Hello everyone, I hope y'all are having an absolutely fantastic day. Today is my first upload going up on this channel, and it is basically the analysis, the full review of the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare campaign. It covers the gameplay and the plot review of the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare game. So I'll be making a series about pretty much every single Call of Duty game in chronological order. So first of all, we'll do Call of Duty 4, and the next uploads will be, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, etc. So if you like what you see, please feel free to hit the like button. Thank you all for clicking on this video, and enjoy. Starting with the campaign, the first thing you'll notice right off is that it has a fresh setting of the modern era. We haven't quite seen this in a Call of Duty game yet at this point. All we've seen is World War II with Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, United Offensive, Big Red 1, and some other titles. When people say going back to its roots when referring to Call of Duty, they're usually talking about going back to the World War II setting, as you'll see with Call of Duty World War II, which I will bring up in that video. So basically, the modern era was a completely new frontier for Call of Duty, and this was seen that you can have so many new different types of weapons and conflicts and tactics, and just gameplay will be so much more different with the modern era, and we've seen it in this game. Now to cover the storyline. The storyline has you playing as Soap McTavish, a youngling in the SAS, starting out in Captain Price's Bravo 6 squadron. Some of the notable faces you'll see are of course Captain Price, but you also have Gaz, Wallcroft, and Griffin, as well as some others. The story kicks off with you first training on a small course that is based off of a ship, and turns out in the next mission you're actually infiltrating that cargo ship. It's an Estonian cargo ship, and when Captain Price and the boys look at what's being shipped, they figured out that there is a nuclear device, a Russian nuclear device, being shipped to another country. The manifest is written in Arabic, so Captain Price he starts to put two and two together, and he realizes that something's going on in the Middle East. He grabs the manifest, and all of a sudden the ship is attacked by Russian fighter jets, and they're able to get out in the nick of time. In a country that coincidentally happens to be in the Middle East, there is a uprising and a coup led by a man named Khaled al-Assad. He ends up publicly assassinating the president of his country on live TV. The US is not too happy with this, and they prepare to send in a 30,000-man invasion force to regain control of the country. In Russia, there is a second civil war between the federal government of the Russian Federation, or the Loyalist Party, and the Ultranationalist Party, led by a man named Imran Zakhaev, who he is not directly pulling the strings, but he is from the background, and he is a very prominent figure that we will see shortly. So it turns out in the Ultranationalist Party, Captain Price has a mole named Nikolai, and Nikolai is discovered by the Russians, and he is about to be executed. He's being held in a small house in Russia. So Captain Price, using the help of his men and a member of the Russian loyalists, Sergeant Kamarov, is able to infiltrate and get his men out of there. As he's getting out of there, Nikolai says, "Captain Price, has the US started the invasion?" Captain Price replies saying that they start in the morning. And then Nikolai says the US is making a great mistake, in which we will see soon play out. Keeping up with that invasion of the US, you're playing as Private Jackson, and what's happening is there is a huge invasion that is taking place, as I said, with full-on. You're pretty much recreating the every single Normandy mission from the past World War IIs. You're basically recreating it here, but instead of going in on a landing craft, you're taking Black Hawk helicopters, and you're pretty much flying in huge squadrons with tanks on the ground, completely rolling over things, firefights going off all over the place. It's quite a loud and huge war zone. So basically you're tasked with finding al-Assad and taking him either kill or capture, preferably capture. So you fight through the country and do what you can to try to get him, and a lot of it seems not to work. He seems to be slipping you, and he seems to just be hiding one step ahead of the US Marines every step that they go. On their way back from extracting Nikolai, Captain Price and his men are shot down in their helicopter, and they have to use stealth and pretty much the element of surprise and the darkness to try to keep themselves safe and out of the way of the enemy fire and the patrol teams that are looking for them. So they keep on looking, and upon reaching their secondary extract site, stressfully, they're able to get out of there. Upon a briefing, they learn that Khaled al-Assad might be in Azerbaijan, which is a country near Russia, So they go there and they try to look for him. At the same time, the U.S. forces get also their own intelligence saying that he could be in a broadcast station. And this station was previously used for TV programs and the news coverage, but now it was being used to broadcast Khaled al-Assad's message. So the U.S. Marines, they completely they raid the place, and turns out that it's a dry hole. It was a pre-recorded message that was being broadcasted from there correctly, but al-Assad was nowhere to be found at the scene. So turns out that their intel was off. The U.S. intelligence then believes that he's holed up in the capital of the country, in the presidential palace, where he is hiding from the United States forces that are coming and invading his country. So they plan a full assault on the capital. The invasion force does not find him there. So what turns out happening is, as they're about to leave, turns out that there is an active nuclear bomb in the city, and on attempt of defusal by the EOD teams, it goes off, and it kills all 30,000 men in the invasion force. Not a single one survived. Well, actually a few survived, but if they were in the city at the time, none survived. As this happened, Captain Price and his men were fighting through Azerbaijan trying to track al-Assad, but to no avail. They fought and they came upon many ambushes. They fought a lot of enemies. This is a Call of Duty game, so obviously they fought a lot of enemies, as I said 17 times. But yeah, pretty much they're trying to track him down. So they're going from pretty much building to building in the rural area of the country, trying to track him. So now there's not much left for them to do. There's not too many places left for him to hide. So they track him down to a barn and they capture him, they interrogate him, and they're able to figure out that not only in Russia but also in the Middle East, Imran Zakhaev is pulling all the strings in all of this. And now they've enlisted the help of a member of the U.S. Marines and the United States intelligence. There's a man by the name of Sergeant Briggs, who was in the country at the time of the bomb going off, and he was fighting in the invasion force. Basically, he was drafted by the British SAS to help them out with their mission. Looking over all the evidence that leads to Zakhaev, they were able to deduce that maybe if they get to his son, they'll be able to get something, either his information, or they'll get Zakhaev to stop what he's doing, to get his son back. So they end up planning a sting for his son, which turns into a chase. Eventually the son gets cornered on the side of a building, and he just kills himself. He shoots himself in the head because he knew that being captured was far worse than dying, and he knew that what he was doing for his father was noble, so he did that. This made Zakhaev pissed, and what he ended up doing in retaliation was launching multiple Russian nuclear missiles at the United States and its allies. And because of this, there were only a few short hours that the coalition forces had to stop the world from ending, basically. So they found the launch facility because they were about to attack it at the time, because they knew that al-Assad was there. Zakhaev was there, my bad. So they were attacking, and then all of a sudden they see these missiles go off. So they have a few short hours, if even hours, maybe 13 or 14 minutes to get this done. They get down there, they fight bitterly from room to room trying to recapture the facility. At the end, they end up capturing it back, and Soap is able to put in the correct launch code to abort the detonation of the nuclear warheads. But the team just cannot seem to catch a break, and as they're leaving, they figure out that Zakhaev is nearby, so they grab the trucks from the area and they chase him down. Eventually, the chase leads to a bridge where a Russian Hind, on behalf of Zakhaev, shoots up the bridge, completely destroys it, and it's not completely destroyed, it's still hanging, it's still up, but the vehicles on there were destroyed. Gaz and Price are passed out. Soap is dazed and basically passed out, and Griggs is the only one alive, and he's dragging you to cover. He attempts to make a last stand with his light machine gun when he is killed by the enemies that are quickly encroaching on your location. And now Price, Gaz, and Soap are all out of the fight, the final 3 survivors of SAS Bravo team, and Zakhaev is walking down, executing all the men with his pistol. All of a sudden, Sergeant Kamarov comes in clutch, destroying Zakhaev's chopper with his own, and this distracts him long enough for Captain Price, completely weak and unable to move, he passes you his 1911 sidearm, and you are able to kill the 2 henchmen and Zakhaev. Gaz did not make it because he was executed before the helicopter was blown up, but Captain Price is sitting there motionless. Then the Russian medevac team comes. They put you on a stretcher, which are about to airlift you out of the area. Captain Price is having chest compressions performed on him, and there's no sign of his responsiveness. That is the end of the Call of Duty 4 campaign. There is, however, one more mission, but I will not go into detail on it right now. I will go into detail on that one a little more in the end, because it's kind of important to what comes in the future of Call of Duty, but that's pretty much all there is for the storyline. So now when it comes to the gameplay, I was talking about this earlier, but now I'm going to talk about it more. The World War II games were pretty much just a full-on war, one side versus the other. Just as much overwhelming fire as you can get is as good as you can get. But now in this game, they're talking more about tactics, and they wanted to offer a varied experience, and the way they do this is pretty smart. They basically, the SAS is a special operations group, which makes sense by now, and the US Marines, it's basically an invasion. It's the full-on war. You get your full-on war experience from the Marine sections. You get your tactical experience from the SAS sections. You get a really well-rounded experience with this game's campaign, and there's not much you can complain about, because the first mission, Crew Expendable, is a stealth mission on a cargo ship, and you're using suppressed weapons, group tactics, small group tactics against a much larger enemy. You're using stealth and tactics to outmaneuver and pretty much come out on top over a much larger enemy than you. But in the United States, in the US Marines sections, you're using the Mark 19 automatic grenade launcher, just completely plowing through buildings with an M1 Abrams tank, just destroying cars and enemy fixtures of AA guns, and you have like attack helicopters just blowing up enemy strongholds. It's the full-out war that you wanted from Call of Duty. So in this way, I think that the gameplay is really unique. It gives you a lot of different variations. Along with this, for the first time, you're seeing things like, laser sights, night vision goggles make their debut here. Even though they're only used in a few sections, they're still in the game, which I think is pretty cool. You get the M203 grenade launcher, which is an icon of the Call of Duty franchise, to say the least. You get more choice in your weaponry. You're using a lot of pretty much all the main weapons except for the G3 and a few others are fully automatic, compared to World War II, where you were using either the Kar 98K, which is a semi-automatic, or the M1 Garand, which is fully automatic. The Kar 98 was bolt action. Same with the Lee Enfield. The Garand was semi-automatic. The MP40 and the Thompson were fully automatic, but they were submachine guns. Now your main rifles are fully automatic. There's a lot more variation in the gameplay, and pretty much the gunplay feels a lot better in this game than it did in any other Call of Duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to real quick apologize to everyone for leaving out the most iconic mission in this game, all gillied up. Pretty much why I forgot is because it doesn't really happen chronologically in the story, but here's what happens. So Captain Price is a lieutenant in the SAS, and he's going with his mentor, Captain Macmillan, and they pretty much sneak through Pripyat, Ukraine, which is on the outskirts of the Chernobyl disaster from 1984. He sneaks through with him using whatever stealth and ghillie suits, and they use suppressed weapons, sniper rifles, pretty much anything that'll make you look like a badass, they use them. And they end up getting to this hotel where they're overlooking an arms deal that Zakhaev is at, and Captain Price is tasked with taking him down. He shoots off his arm. Macmillan thinks that the blood loss and the shock from losing his arm will be enough to kill him off, but sadly he is mistaken and he is still around. And that's why Captain Price is really surprised when he hears that that Zakhaev is still around. And I cannot simply just gloss over this mission without talking about the gameplay that it provided to this game, because instead of, as I was talking about, the big battles, because even I'm going to admit it, even a lot of the SAS sections turn into big gunfights. Even in Crew Expendable, in the downstairs, there was a huge gunfight in the lower deck of the ship. So in this mission, you're pretty much sneaking around the entire time until the very end, which is probably, you can kind of consider that the second mission. It's called One Shot, One Kill. Basically, you're sneaking around for the entire mission, and once you have botched the assassination attempt, or at the time you think it's successful, but once you've botched it, you're pretty much just fleeing from the entire all of Zakai's army. So he's going to be chasing after you, or his people are going to be chasing after you, and you have to set up a defensive perimeter. To make matters worse, Captain Macmillan, he's put out of action because a helicopter kind of lands on his leg. So that's pretty much what happens in that mission, and the gameplay that it provides like a whole new stealth aspect to Call of Duty that we've never seen before. So that's like really, really cool, and it's inspired so much in gaming, and pretty much it's a really iconic mission, just to say the least. So now I wanted to talk about the actual final mission in the game. It's called the Mile High Club, and it's basically a mission where you, as the SAS, after the campaign, you're sent on a mission to go on a passenger jetliner, and you have to recover a hostage. So you're throwing flashbangs, doing really, really quick moves and maneuvers to try to get to the hostage as fast as possible because you're on a timer. I think this mission is super cool. It's really fun. It started a whole little sort of subculture of speedrunning CoD games, which we haven't ever seen, because CoD was just like a normal story game. But so I wanted to talk about the legacy that this mission has, because not only the little speedrunning stuff that I was just talking about, but also the fact that it has spawned this entire mode of Spec Ops that we have seen even now in Modern Warfare 2019, where even though it wasn't that great, it has a legacy that's lasted. Basically, Spec Ops was this entire section of Modern Warfare 2 where you played as the you played in parts of the campaign, like little sections, and you had alter objectives where you and your friends together could play, and you could do these little missions, and you can collect all the stars in the game. And it was a really fun experience. I remember playing with my brother. We played split screen on our PS3, and we do all the missions, and we got stuck on some of them, but it was still super fun regardless. And overall, I think that this mission has a really great legacy, and I think it serves a purpose to remind us of what it caused for CoD, especially the Modern Warfare series, and how some really small mission had impacted a lot of us in the way that we looked at the Spec Ops missions and how we all enjoyed them, and even how we play the Spec Ops missions in Modern Warfare 2019, because one of the last missions, Operation Headhunter, or I believe it's Crosswind actually, you are actually doing a similar type of thing there. So overall, that is Spec Ops kind of explained in CoD 4. And just like that, the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare campaign has been reviewed by Captain Titan. So thank you all very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to like and drop a sub. I'll be pumping out more of these videos, and the frequency and quality of the uploads will increase as time goes on, both in the editing and in my shaky voiceovers. So overall, I hope you all really enjoy the video. I will be working on getting the socials running. So far it's just the YouTube, but I'll be working on getting Instagram and Twitter up and running. So thank you all very much for watching. Please stay safe and tell your families you love them from me. This is Captain Titan, signing off.